Here we go.
All right, so by a show of hands, how many of you here have ever drinking alcohol? Yeah, don't worry, I'm not a police officer. I'm not going to arrest you. So the reason why I actually chose this topic was because I have a friend that's also in college who he got so drunk that he blacked out, and he found himself outside of his apartment with his wallet stolen, and he had no memory of what happened. Now, I chose this topic because it's so prevalent in today's age. It's so easy to get alcohol, and I believe this is something that needs to be shed light on. So just a little statistic, the USA is actually one of the only countries that still have the alcohol limit, age limit at 21. Most other countries, especially in Europe, are 18 plus. So first of all, we're going to go over the so basically, underage alcohol usage is a big problem because it has a lot of health issues that happens to children that are drinking underage. And the solution to this will be to have tighter regulations and more restrictions, which will have a great impact because it will reduce the amount of underage drinkers there are. So I'll be going over first of all what the problem is, then what the solution is, and then what the impact of that solution will be. So first of all, the problem is, so according to the article by Recovery Tree in 2018, there are over 1,800 ER visits in 2010 related to underage drinking. That's a lot of people that are going to the hospital because they don't know how to balance alcohol. So this is obviously a big problem because in another article by Procon in 2017, the author talks about how alcohol causes a lot of chronic problems, or it has the potential to cause a lot of chronic problems, or have more of a high likelihood to have them. For example, drinking underage can make you become more addicted earlier on. It can also you're also still developing while you're in that age, so your brain could be affected, and you might have memory loss, you might have brain development issues, you might have depression, or you'll at least be more prone to depression. And as a result, the people that are drinking more underage can ruin their lives essentially with all these things listed, because it causes, a lot of these things cause suicide, a lot of these things cause other problems, and it just kind of domino effects. So now we're going to go into the solution to this problem, right? There's also a lot of deaths that happen as a result from drinking and driving. A lot of you know of that. So the solution, so according to the article, or according to the publisher, I'm blanking, sorry. Basically, a statistic shows that the higher minimum drinking age is, equals the lower levels of alcohol use. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, the higher the age limit, so because it's 21 for us, there's a lot less alcohol usage. In 1981, when the law wasn't that way, it was actually really, really high, the amount of people that would die from or have any sort of underage drinking consequences. And once that law was passed, then the consequences went down, and the age limit was a lot more sophisticated, and it tackled the problem really well. So I'm suggesting that we need to implement more restrictions in order to control this problem. And according to the article by Taylor and Francis in 2018, the more laws equals less likely to drink, and it's not only just drinking, it's the fact that these underage children are binge drinking. They don't know how to handle themselves, they don't know what self-control is, and they just binge drink. And this causes a lot of problems because it can kill people, right, through alcohol poisoning. Especially since these people, it could be their first time, they're not exactly sure how they can control themselves, basically. So with this solution, the impact of this solution, now the impact of the solution is obviously self-explanatory. There's going to be less people drinking, but not only that, there's going to be less people depressed, right? Society is going to be a lot more filled with a lot more happier people. There's not going to be a lot less deaths and a lot less car-related drinking and driving accidents. And according to the article by Springlink in 2018, so alcohol-related motor vehicle crashes increased from 15 to 25% following the reduction in drinking age in Michigan. So basically what that's saying is, when the age went from 21 in Michigan to I think 18, the amount of car accidents went from 15 to 25% from underage drinking, which is quite a substantial increase, right? And we can also, like I talked about earlier, we can see how since the according to the another article by Boston something, drunk driving accidents have dropped by 50% since the law was passed, which is also a substantial number. If we can see results like this just through one simple law of lowering the age, who can say, there's not going to be other numbers like this that can drop dramatically if we add more tighter restrictions, right? We need something else in place. Okay, so as a recap, we talked about how how big of a problem underage drinking is, how there's a lot of deaths and brain injuries that can happen because of alcohol abuse, I guess. We talked about the solution to that, which we need tighter regulations, more restrictions. We need to limit how these children get alcohol in their hands. And we also need to teach safety, teach children how to handle themselves, and teach them how to drink responsibly. And the impact of that will be a better society. There's going to be a lot less deaths, there's going to be a lot less depression, and overall it will make the general population happier and safer, for that matter, because there will be a lot less driving-related accidents. So if you want to learn more, I suggest going to, or just Googling the site I went on was Recovery Tree. If you or someone you know has a problem with alcohol and needs help, you can easily find it there. So that's all I have. Thank you.